Hi folks, this is Karim Rao from IT Visualizer channel. Today we'll continue our lab, the Star Trek lab. This is the 19th video, or the 19th video. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We were talking about the concept called dynamic access control rule. This concept works on the Active Directory user's attributes. For example, if you right click any user in the Active Directory, you will find in his properties, or the Active Directory user properties, you will see a tab called organization. In this tab you will find something called the department of the user, the title of the user, so you can fill in it the title of the user and the department which he is in. And if you also right click a computer in the Active Directory, or if you find a computer object in the Active Directory and right click its properties, you will see a tab in the computer Active Directory properties, a tab called location. So you will find in the Active Directory users an attribute called department and title, and in the computers of the Active Directory there is an attribute called location. So we will use these three attributes to control who can access files on our file server. And not only this, we will use these attributes to tag the files, or to make classification types, and with these classification types it will be imported in the file server, and we will use this classification types to tag the files. So we will use the Active Directory attributes to control who can access files on the file server, and in the same time it will be used as classification types. So we can tag files by the department, the title of the user, the location of the computer the user is working on. So how this was discussed in the previous video, as we see here, that this is the files and we have a classification rule. It will be according to the file location, the department, and the job title of the user. So at the end we will have three tags on the file. For example, the location, department, job title. For example, this is Columbia, the ship. This is the department engineering, and the title of the user is captain. So at the end here you can see that we have an IT folder, and there is a group called IT, so it have full control over it, and under it there is different IT personnel. Every one of them has different title, okay, even though they have full control because they are in the IT group, and they are in the and they have full control over the folder and its content. We have five files in this folder, okay, even though they all can control it, or they all have full control over these files. But when we use the DAC rules and we tag the files according to the location and department and job title, this will be different. Every user will have only access to the file that his Active Directory attributes matches with the tag of the file. For example, if the IT coordinator, his title in the Active Directory, IT coordinator, and the job and the department in the Active Directory is IT, for example, and the ship is Columbia, so if his Active Directory attribute matches the tags of the file, he will access this file, and he will not have any access to the other files. And the same applies for every user. So every user will only access the files that his tags, or the file that is on the file matches his Active Directory attributes. So this is a very good way to control control who access which files based on the file level, or not on the folder level. So here we can put all of the users or in one group, okay, and we can put all the files in one folder, but still we can define which user access which file in the folder, okay, based on the tags and the Active Directory attributes. We have done this, or we have been preparing ourselves to do this in the previous video. So what we have done, we have first of all we have a problem here before this. As for the location, okay, for example, Columbia, all of the computers, as I said before, the location attribute, it's a computer attribute in the Active Directory. So all of our computers in the Active Directory doesn't have the location tab filled, so we have used a PowerShell script to put or to fill the location tabs in every computer in the domain. We have done this in the previous video. So we used a location, add location attribute to all Active Directory objects in the domain using PowerShell script. And then we were working with the Columbia share folders. We have a folder shared for the Columbia ship, and it contains all of the folders for different departments in the Columbia ship. I have missed putting NTFS share permissions on them, so this was here. For example, here this is the Columbia ship. It contains different folders, okay, for different departments. I need to put NTFS permissions for different groups on different folders. For example, if this is the IT folder under the Columbia ship, I need to give the IT Active Directory group of the Columbia ship full control over the folder, or modify permissions on the folder. So this I didn't do it, so I did it in the previous video. And in this video we will import the Active Directory attributes, the department title and location, to the file server, classification configuration, and tag files with these attributes. So we will use these attributes as classification types. Okay, at the end, what we have done, to use the DAC rules, we need to activate an option on the file server called claim. So this claim or this option should be activated on the file server using a group policy. We have stopped here at this part. We have activated the claim option on the file server. Okay, and if you have more than one file server, so you need to activate claim option on all of the file servers. We have done this, or we have stopped at this part. In this video, we will begin importing the Active Directory attributes to the file server classification configuration and begin tagging the files with the Active Directory attributes. These attributes are used as classification types. So we will see how this will be done in this video. We have activated the group policy. So to begin importing the Active Directory attributes to the file server, we will use a utility called administrative Active Directory console. This is a console to control or to manage the Active Directory. It's different than the normal Active Directory. It's called Active Directory Administrative Center. This is, if you get a little bit closer here, so if you go there, here we all know, just a moment, if you go to there, so here we all know that we manage the Active Directory users and computers from this console. But there is another console. It's not regularly, or it's not mostly used, it's rarely used. It's Active Directory Administrative Center. You can manage users and computers from the Active Directory Administrative Center, but it's not used oftenly. So we will use this to import the Active Directory attributes, the department, the title, the location, import them from the Active Directory to the file server, and use them as classification types or classification file types. Okay, so we'll see how this is done. We will go there. So it's not in the console. So what we will do here again, so we will go to, sorry, here, sorry again. So here what we will do, we'll go to the start and then all programs and then administrative tools. We will click on Active Directory Administrative Center, and then we will run it as administrator. So we will tag it, or we will pin it to the taskbar. So now we will run it, and then we will begin importing the Active Directory attributes. Okay, and we will make some configuration in the Active Directory attributes, and we'll do some things to import them to the file server. So we will click on Dynamic Access Control, and then we go to the claim types. We will see that we have the department. So if we go there, if you go to the claim types and tell him, or double click on him on it, okay, and then I think we need to click on other thing. Just a moment. I think just a moment here. So we'll go there again. you can like click here. If you go to the claim types again, and then go into the claim types, tell him new claim, okay, and here we will choose the department attribute in the Active Directory. So this is the first thing. We will take the department attribute. It is a user, just a moment guys, it is a user configuration, or it's a user item. Just a moment. So here we will choose the department attribute in the Active Directory. For example, is the organization. We can see that the department attribute, it's in the Active Directory. We will choose it and insert different departments in it. So let's continue guys. Here we have the department, okay, so we will choose the department attribute in the Active Directory, and we will insert, or we will put in it, the different departments we have in our StarTrek.local. So we have the engineering, we have the medic, we have everything. So here we will go and tell him department, and then we tell him okay, and then we need to insert, okay, because these departments, it doesn't contain anything. So we'll tell him new, and we'll add another claim. We have choose the department attribute, and then we choose the location attribute, okay, so we have the location attribute selected, and then we have also again the title. So we will do this for the 3. Anyway, we will open this now, and then we will open the department, and then we begin adding in the department different departments we have. Just a moment. Here I think we will add another one. Here we'll go to the resource properties. Here we have the department, okay, so we will enable it, and then in this we will add, okay, the different departments we have. There is default values, okay, so we need to make claim type. So we will make one for the department, or we choose the department attribute, then we will choose the location attribute, and we will choose the title attribute, and then we will begin adding different values to this attributes. So for example, here in the department there is default values. For example, maybe it doesn't go with my needs, or it doesn't contain the departments I have, so I can add different departments here to the default. Okay, so there is the default administration, for example, customer service, but it doesn't contain the medic or engineering, so I can add different values to the department. So we will do this now. So for example, it doesn't contain the IT, so we need to add values to the attributes. Okay, so we need to go and tell him add. We will add different departments. So for example, here we will add, I think we can pass it this real quickly anyway. So here you go there. So here I have the engineering, just a moment. What I'll do here, I will go and add, I don't have here the engineering in the values, so I'll add the engineering department. Okay, and we'll add the different departments I have. So here I add engineering, but it's already there. So this department, it's already in the values of the department. So I need to add, okay, for example, there is information technology, so there is finance, there is engineering, but I have different departments. I have other departments. I have the medic department, I have the ship squad team department. So I have a lot of departments. For example, I need to add more departments. The default departments or the default values doesn't go with my needs, so I need to add different departments to the values in the departments. Okay, here for example we have a captain, so maybe the department is a captain, so we need to make a department for captains, for example, maybe. So here what we will do, we will go and add different departments. think maybe we can go there a little bit here. So engineering, we will add, no, not the Columbia ship, I will add other thing. So here, okay, so what we have done here, we have added already a department called captain, but we will add more. Okay, we will add more departments, but here how you can add more departments to the department values, and then we will go to the location. Okay, so now we have used the department, we need to make one for the location. We need to add another resource, or to add another one for the location and add different locations to it. So now we will add another value called location. Okay, and it is single value, so it's single value choice, and then we will add here all of the locations or the ships that we have. So this will be the locations. Okay, so here we will add the different ships here. So we will go to a text file and add the different ships. Okay, and we add the different departments and we add different titles. So this should be done for the 3 attributes of the Active Directory. So now what we'll do, we'll add the locations. So here the first thing to do is to add the attributes, then add the values for the attributes, then publish these values and attributes to the file server. Okay, so first of all, this is the file server classification types. Okay, so this is the Columbia, and then we'll begin adding different locations until we do it all. So div space 9, and then we will add it. Okay, and then okay. So we'll add all of the ships here until we end it. So all of them are added. We need to make one for the title, okay, and one for the location, for the departments. The departments, we didn't add all of the departments, so we will do this now, and we will make another one for the title. Okay, another one for the title. We need to add different values for the titles. Okay, so I think we need to pass this also real quickly. Anyway, so we'll go again to the departments. Okay, and then we will add. So let's continue, guys. Here we will add different departments. So we will go again and add different departments. For example, I need to add the medic team. I need to add different departments. Okay, so here I will add, for example, high level department. This is the departments I have. So I have researchers department, medic department, ship squad team department. So all of these are departments. I can add it, so add values to it. Okay, so medic, okay, and then medic, and then we will add engineering or IT. We have information technology, but we don't have IT, or it is not written as IT. So here we will type it as IT. So we'll add different departments. Okay, and then we have the engineering already, so we don't have the researchers. Okay, so this is another department. Okay, so these are the departments I have. Okay, and then okay. Okay, and then we need to add another one. Remember that we didn't have or didn't add the title, so we need to add another one for the title. Sorry. So we'll have another one for the title, new claim, and we will make one title, or we choose the attribute of the title from the Active Directory. He's there already, so we have it. We'll choose it, and it's a user configuration. So we'll tell him okay, and then we'll put different values in the title. So we'll add captain, we will add lieutenant, we will add a lot of things. So we need to go and in the resources properties and see, or to add in the resource properties, we go to resource properties, and then we'll make another one, or we'll make a resource properties, or resource values, or let's say default values for this attribute. So we'll go tell him new. Okay, here, and we will tell him new one. Okay, So we need to go to the new tab. Okay, here it go, and we will make a resource properties. Okay, value, and then we will tell him title, and then we add different titles. So we have here a lot of titles. We have captain, we have lieutenant, we have senior, we have senator, we have admiral. So we have a lot of titles. We can add them. So here we add colonel, for example. This is one. You can add them as you like. You can add many titles as you like. Okay, which match, of course, the one that is written in the Active Directory users attributes. Okay, so here we'll tell him this is a single value. You can choose to make it not a single value. You can make it more than one value, but for the purpose of the lab and for our need, we only need one single value. Okay, so here tell him colonel, and then you can add different attributes in this field. After that, okay, well, for example, I need to add captain. Okay, another captain. So here we have the attributes added, and the values for these attributes are added also. So we need to publish them. Okay, we will make them or publish them in a rule, or make them in a rule. Okay, and then we will publish this rule to the file server. I will show you all how this is done, but wait for a moment. Here now we have all of the values, okay, or the attributes, and their values are already added to the Active Directory. We need to publish them or to import them in the file server as classification types. So this is the command, but let me make it more quicker because it's all of this. Okay, so here we go again. So here, just a moment guys. So here, if you go, this is the command you need to type in the PowerShell script, also in the PowerShell module, so you can publish the Active Directory attributes in the file server, and they will be published as classification file types. Okay, so we can go to the file server and check this. If you make a refresh, okay, we make a refresh in the classification properties. Here we can see that the location of the Active Directory was added to the classification types. The title was added to the classification types. The department was added to the classification types. So we can use these classifications to tag files. Okay, we didn't make as we have done in the previous videos. We need to right click and then tell him new classification type, and then begin adding the department and then the values in the departments and so on. So no, we have already imported him directly from the Active Directory to the file server. Okay, so here we can see that we have two departments. This is the one that we have created locally, and this is the one imported from the Active Directory. So now we have imported the Active Directory attributes as classification types in the file server. So now we can tag files easily. Okay, and I'll show you all. We will do this manually, of course. We will not make a rule because I don't have much files, but you can make a rule to tag the files according to the classifications you need. So here there is rules. You can make rules and tag files with the newly added attributes. So here we need to, for example, if I go to any file, okay, and click properties, okay, I will see that, for example, here, for example, I have a text file, so I will make a text file here. If we go to the properties, we will see the classification tab. We will see that new values are added. So you will see the title. For example, if we tell him properties, okay, and then we go to the classification, here we can see that the title is added, the location is added, the department is added. So for example, if we tag this department as engineering and tag the location as Colombia and tag the title as captain, so now this file will be accessed by a user that his Active Directory user properties, especially the department, it will be engineering, and his Active Directory attribute title is captain, and his Active Directory computer attribute location is Colombia. We will see this, how this is done, but we will choose different values. For example, here the department, we can see that all of the values we see in the administrative Active Directory, administrative center, all of them are available for us to choose. Okay, so we didn't add them manually, they are already there as we have done in the previous videos. Okay, so now we will choose engineering. For example, here we can see that all of them, okay, this is the locations that we have added in the Active Directory administrative center. So here we can choose a location, so we will tag the files, we'll tag it as Colombia, okay, and then we will tag the department as, for example, engineering maybe, or IT, okay, for example engineering, and then we will go to the title, okay, and have colonel and captain. These are all values we have added in the Active Directory administrative center. So now we will add all of these tags on the file. You can do this not manually but with a classification rule. We have discussed this in previous videos, but I will do it manually just to make it more easier. And then we need to complete what we have done. We need now to do a little thing. We need to go and make something called central access rule. So central access rule, okay, we will make a rule called, for example, documents rule, okay, and this documents rule, this is the rule that we will add. So here I'm telling him, for example, now I have added the attributes, so here I will put the rule. This rule I can choose a condition. For example, I need a certain PC from a certain location, from a certain department, with a certain title. All of these are to be accessed, or this is the condition. So here I am restricting, or here I am making a condition how to access the files. Okay, this is the condition. For example, I need someone from the engineering department, from the Colombia ship, or the location Colombia. This is the one only allowed to access. So this is the rule, to be a user from the Colombia ship and the department engineering. So we will see how this is done. This is the rule or the condition. Okay, so here, for example, I tell him I need this. No, I can go, guys, a little bit closer here. So here, you can make the rule according to the department or the location or the title. Okay, so here you can make your condition, or you can make your rule. If you need one from a certain department to access the file, or you need to access the file based on the location of the computer or based on the title. So here we will make it based on the department, and then it will be equal to, we will check here, for example, we need the engineering, for example. Okay, so this is our rule. Okay, so we need the user to be from the engineering department. Okay, so this is a rule. We will choose it now. So we will tell him from the engineering department. Okay, so this is our rule. Here we can see that it says add a condition to specify the resource this central access rule applies to. Okay, and any additional restrictions that you want to apply. If you do not specify any restrictions, this central rule will be applied to all resources. So here you are making a rule to specify, okay, who access the file or access the resource. The resource here refers to the file or the folder if you need. Okay, so here you are telling him, for example, I need the engineering, or one from the engineering department to access the file, or one, his Active Directory attribute is engineering, he will access the file, and we will have this rule applied to a file. I will show you all how this is done. So here now we will add a condition. So if you need to make more conditions, okay, maybe for example you need not only the engineering, you need the location. For example, here I am putting, I need someone from the engineering from the Colombia ship. So we have two conditions: to be from the engineering, or his Active Directory attribute to be from Active Directory to be engineering, and then Colombia. So we have two conditions here. The file should be accessed only if the user's Active Directory attribute is engineering and his user Active Directory attribute is Colombia, and the files need, or the user the files that the user will access need to be tagged with the same things, to be tagged as engineering and as Columbia. Okay, so this is it. So we have make the attribute, added the attribute, add the values for the attribute, publish them to the file server as classification types to tag the files, and then we need to make the rule or condition to access the file or to access the resource. The resource is referred to as a file. Okay, so here, what if this condition is successfully met? So if the user's attributes are Columbia and engineering and the files are tagged with the same one, so what you will do here, we need to tell him that if this is applied, so we need to give him full control over the file. So if this is met, this condition is met, you need to tell him what is the permission on the file. So here we'll tell him full control, of course. If this is fulfilled, we need to give him full control over the folder, or over the file. So we'll do this now. So here he is telling you use the following permissions. The setting allows you to audit the results of the access request, so and so. So anyway, so here we have default permissions, the owner's right, so the owning of the file or the owner of the file will have full control. The administrators or the built-in Active Directory group called administrators will have full control over it, and the net authority, this is a service in the Windows, will have full control. So we need here to add the engineering department to have full control over the file. So if he is from the engineering department, from the Columbia ship, he will have full control over the file. Okay, if you need to be more specific, you can add also the title. Also, for example, here what I am doing here, I am specifying that he need to be from the engineering Columbia. Okay, if you need to be more specific, you can add the title, and then after that give the user, okay, give this user the not the user, sorry, of course, give a certain user the control over it. Okay, I don't think the user, but anyway, I will test it, I will see it. So here now we will test this specific thing. It will be tested anyway. I will show you all how this is done. So we will grant different permissions. So you tell him edit, okay, and then here we will add the principal. Okay, so here we will need to add, or tell him that I need, here we tell him that the engineering department. Okay, so here what we will do, if this condition is met, if he is from the resource, okay, from the engineering department, the Columbia ship, he will have full control, or will have full control over the folder, okay, or the file. But we can also play here. For example, if he's from the engineering and then Columbia department, I can add here certain conditions that he need to have a certain title, so he will not be allowed full control even though he is from the engineering department, the Columbia ship. But I can add certain limitations here. He can be from the engineering department, the Columbia ship, but he should have a certain title. I will show you all how this is done. So here we'll add the principal. We will give the Columbia engineering group. Okay, so here we had removed the owners. Okay, and then we will add a principal. We will add the engineering team, Columbia engineering. Okay, and then we can play with this also. We can limit it. So here I will tell him the engineering department will have full control over the folder unless all of them will have control, or some of them will have control, unless or if he has a certain title. So here, for example, we give him modify, for example, then we can add a condition. Here we can tell him that he should be from the engineering Active Directory group, and he should be with a certain title. So we'll tell him add. Here we can tell him that he's a user from the group of engineering. This is correct, it should be. And then we need to add the title. Okay, so we need to add the title. I will show you all how this can be limited with the title. So here we will add the condition. He is a group, yes, user of a group. Okay, so he should be from the engineering team. And then we will add another condition. He should have a certain title. So there is two conditions. He will be allowed full control over the file if he is a member of the engineering Active Directory or Columbia Engineering Active Directory group, and he should have a certain title. Okay, so this is what should be done. Okay, so here this is the engineering. Okay, and tell him okay. So now he should be a user in a group Columbia. Okay, and then we add another condition. Okay, so he'll be granted modify if he is a user from the engineering group. Okay, and he should have a certain title. So this is very good. We will add another condition and we will choose, okay, something else. Okay, so here this is very good. We define that he is from the engineering department, and then here we can use the device. Okay, or we can use here, we can tell him, if we can get a little bit closer here, we can go there again. So if we do this and then we add a certain, tell him another condition, and then we tell him, okay, so we can here tell him, for example, I need the user, okay, or the resource, okay, the resource to be something else, or I need the user to be from a certain location. Okay, this can be done. So the device, it's the computer, the resource, it is the file itself. I will show you all how this is done. So the device, you can tell him I need him to be from a certain location. Okay, so he should be a member. Okay, but we can add another thing. I think we can add here the title also, so we can add the title as well. Okay, so here we can add the Columbia ship. Okay, I think we can add another thing also. Apply and okay. I think we should add the value. Okay, so we need to add the title also, or need to add the title. Now we have done the rule, we need to publish it. Okay, so we will publish it. Okay, so in the rule you can add, or you can define in the rule what is the condition that you need. Okay, you can, for example, tell him to be by the title, okay, or something. We need to tell him by the title or something. So this can be done, and you can do this, and then you need to publish this rule because we will use it to put it on the file. I will show you all how this is done. So tell him add doc policy, and then we add the rule, the documents rule that we have created, and then okay, and then we need to go and get this rule on the file. So here we need to go and so now we need to go and, first of all, this rule should be published to all of the file servers. So I need to go, or need to be published to all of the users. Okay, I think not here. Okay, we need to publish this rule or this condition in all of our Active Directory. So we need to go to the default domain policy. This is the group policy that is applied to all of the users. So we need to publish this rule, okay, to all of the users. We need to do this. Okay, so we need to publish the rule after putting the rule and publish it with a name. We need to publish it in the whole domain. So we need to do this now. We go there, policies, and then Windows setting, and then okay, and then security, and then we go to the file system central access rule, and then tell him to add the rule that we have done now. Okay, so tell him manage. Okay, this is the doc policy that we have added, and tell okay. And then we need to apply this group policy, or now we will force this group policy or make a GP update. So we need to apply the group policy, and then when we access the file, we will see that this group policy will be added. I will show you all how this is done. So run and then tell him cmd and then gp update / force. Okay, if you go now on the any file, you will see that it is already added. If you go there, for example, if you go to the file that we have already created now and then apply, or we go to the text file and make the security, or we see the security tab, we will see here, for example, the security, not the classification. If you go to the security tab, just a moment. So here we go to the security and then advanced, okay, and then we go to the central policy. This is the one. We will see here we can choose the rule that we have added. So now this rule limits the access to this folder based on the user Active Directory department attribute and the location attribute of the computer. You can add more, you can add the title and so on, but here we will apply the policy. Okay, so now we will do it. Here doc policy, and then here we tell him apply and okay. So now this is simply how this rule will be applied. So now if we go to the text file in this folder and we go to the security and go to the advanced, here we can see in the central policy, okay, that it's already there, it's already applied. Okay, so the rule is to access any file in the folder if the user is a member of the, or his attributes in the Active Directory is the engineering, and the location is from a certain computer or a certain location. So this can be done. You can add the title and so on. So this can be done. Okay, and this is very simple to do it. So it's very simple to do this, to give it a title and the name and so on. So this is let me show you all a little bit here something. So this, guys, is how you can make the DAC rule. Okay, it's very simple, and you can play with the attributes as long as you like. So this is how we can do, or this is the second part of creating a DAC rule. Hope this video is informative for you all, and we'd like to thank you all for viewing. If you need more info about how to work with the DAC rule, you can refer to my Transformers lab. I have two videos concerning how to implement the DAC rule. Sorry for you. I hope this video is informative for you all, and I'd like to thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.